Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Will Julie Chrisley receive a reduced sentence or more? Julie Chrisley will be resentenced in a little over a week. As the court date approaches, many people are wondering if the Chrisley Knows Best star will receive a reduced sentence, or if she's looking at more time. Here is what has been revealed about Julie's vacated sentence, and what she may be looking at next week. What led up to Julie's resentencing? Todd and Julie Chrisley were put on trial in May 2022. Ultimately, they were found guilty of bank fraud and tax evasion. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in prison and Julie was sentenced to 7 years. They immediately began appealing the court's decision, but had to report for their respective prison sentences in January 2023. In September 2023, they both received a reduction in their sentences. Todd's sentence was knocked down to 10 years. Julie's original sentence was reduced by 14 months. However, in the Court of Appeals this summer, Julie Chrisley's sentence was vacated when it was determined there wasn't sufficient evidence to tie her to any crimes before 2007. Some of what they were tried and sentenced for occurred in 2006, so she was scheduled to be resentenced with a hearing on September 25 in Atlanta. Since the news broke, many people have been trying to figure out if Julie Chrisley is going to be released early. Her daughter, Savannah Chrisley, has been pushing for her parents to come home and has been optimistic about the outcome of the upcoming hearing. Julie Chrisley could face more time in prison. Someone wrote an in-depth post about Julie's current sentence and what the resentencing might mean for the Chrisley Knows Best star. It was shared on Reddit, where fans discussed the possibility of her sentence being reduced again or potentially even tacking on more years. Julie Chrisley didn't receive a harsh sentence. It was actually substantially below what the government recommends for the level of offense. She initially received a sentence of 84 months, which is well under the PSR's pre-sentence investigation report guideline range of 235 to 293 months. It is also significantly less than the government's recommendation of 121 to 151 months. In fact, it is possible that Julie might receive time tacked onto her sentence at this point. The Chrisleys have been making a lot of waves since they reported for prison. As one Reddit user pointed out, they have pissed off the judge who gave her a substantially decreased below the government suggested. The person continued, saying that this is likely why Julie wasn't permitted to attend the hearing via Zoom. They retaliate if they are complaining instead of admitting their guilt. It's a resentencing. The judge can give her more time to meet the guidelines, they wrote. At the end of the day, the only way Julie Chrisley would truly be looking at less time is if the threshold of the crime was moved. However, because it's only a year that she wasn't involved, it is unlikely to move the needle under the $9.5 million mark. Julie Chrisley's name has become synonymous with lavish lifestyles, reality TV fame, and now a very public downfall. Once a fixture on the hit show Chrisley Knows Best, the Chrisley matriarch found herself entangled in a legal battle that ultimately led to a conviction for fraud and tax evasion. Julie and her husband Todd were sentenced to years behind bars, Julie, specifically, facing 7 years in federal prison, but with time comes speculation. Could her sentence be reduced, or could it be extended due to unforeseen circumstances? Let's explore the layers of this ongoing legal drama. The Chrisley facade, from lavish to lethal. For years, the Chrisleys seemed to live the American dream. Opulent homes, expensive cars, and a life of luxury that most people could only fantasize about. Julie Chrisley played the role of the ever-poised, doting wife and mother, appearing to manage both the household and her family's public image with grace. Behind the scenes, however, a very different reality was unfolding. The Chrisleys' wealth, which they flaunted so liberally on national television, wasn't what it appeared to be. The couple's empire came crashing down when federal investigators uncovered a fraudulent scheme where Julie and Todd were accused of falsifying documents to secure millions in loans and subsequently evading taxes. It was a stunning fall from grace. For Julie, the convictions not only tarnished her carefully crafted image, but resulted in a harsh 7-year sentence, a far cry from the life of luxury she had led. The complexity of sentencing in high-profile cases. Sentencing in high-profile cases like Julie Chrisley's often generates widespread debate. On one hand, celebrities like her are in the public eye, and the courts may aim to set an example to show that no one is above the law. On the other hand, their fame and resources may allow for better legal representation, giving them a chance at a reduced sentence. In Julie's case, the sentence handed down was seen by many as strict but fair given the magnitude of the crimes. Federal sentencing guidelines don't leave much room for leniency, especially in cases involving tax evasion and fraud. These are seen as serious offenses because they affect public trust and the integrity of financial systems. Typically, anyone convicted of such crimes would be expected to serve a significant portion of their sentence. For Julie, that would mean a long, difficult stint in prison. However, prison terms are not always set in stone. Various factors, from good behavior to cooperation with authorities, can play a role in reducing a sentence. Julie's team could pursue legal avenues like appeals or advocate for a reduced sentence based on mitigating factors such as her character and any positive contributions she may have made prior to her conviction. The emotional toll. While legal experts debate the technicalities of Julie's sentence, it's important to remember the emotional toll her imprisonment is taking on her family. Julie is not just a reality TV star, she's a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. Her children, particularly her younger ones, are undoubtedly feeling the strain of her absence. While Todd is also incarcerated, their combined sentences have left their family in disarray, with elder children like Savannah Chrisley stepping up to care for her younger siblings. The Chrisley children have been vocal about their mother's plight, portraying her as a victim of circumstance rather than a criminal mastermind. They argue that Julie's actions, while wrong, should not define her entire life, and have publicly expressed their hope for a reduced sentence. The emotional appeals made by the Chrisley family could sway public opinion and potentially influence future court decisions. After all, judges and juries are human, and emotional narratives can sometimes affect legal outcomes. A glimmer of hope. There is always a possibility that Julie Chrisley's sentence could be reduced. If she demonstrates good behavior while incarcerated, she might be eligible for early release under certain federal prison guidelines. Federal inmates can often shave time off their sentences by participating in educational programs or rehabilitation initiatives. Additionally, good behavior alone could reduce her sentence by a percentage, though it's unlikely to amount to more than a year or two unless there are extraordinary circumstances. Julie's legal team could also pursue an appeal, although that path is fraught with difficulties. To successfully appeal a conviction, her lawyers would need to prove that errors were made during the trial or that the sentence was excessively harsh. Given the media coverage and high-profile nature of the case, an appeal could be an uphill battle. However, legal experts suggest that stranger things have happened in the world of celebrity justice. Some have speculated that Julie could receive a pardon or commutation from a higher authority, though that seems unlikely without significant political or public pressure. The other side of the coin, could her sentence increase? While much of the speculation has focused on the possibility of Julie Chrisley receiving a reduced sentence, there's also the less discussed but very real chance that her sentence could be extended. Federal prosecutors could bring additional charges against Julie if new evidence emerges or if she's found to be involved in other fraudulent activities. If she violates any terms of her incarceration, such as engaging in illegal activities or failing to comply with prison regulations, she could face additional penalties. It's also worth considering that public figures like Julie often face intense scrutiny while incarcerated. Any slip-ups could be seized upon by the media, turning minor incidents into major scandals. Should Julie find herself embroiled in controversy while serving time, it could lead to more legal troubles or even an extension of her sentence.